Hey guys, Jim here with Simple Life. What I've got for you today is a new updated version of a knife sharpener from TSPROF. Now I've been working with TSPROF for over 5 years now, and they make some of the finest knife sharpening systems out there. You can see you have a collection of cadets. This is their cadet model. And other than color, one of these is not like the other. Can you tell which it is? Feel free to pause the video. Now, from the view that you're seeing them at, it may not be very obvious. Let's start out with the beginning. So, this was the second cadet that I received, which is identical to the first cadet which I received. This is the new one, but we'll get to that. So the way that these original ones would adjust their angles, there's this threaded thing right here, and it's spring-loaded with a piece of nylon that rubs up against here. So you keep a little bit of pressure on it, and you can just slide this with your hands up and down. The tighter you lock it down, the harder it is to slide. And then when you really want to lock it, you can just lock it in place like that. The new update, and they're calling this the Cadet Pro, is this little wheel. So they've got these teeth that are machined into the column here. There's a little brass gear inside of here. You release this is a like friction holding arm, release that, and now we can fine tune our adjustment with this wheel. This is really cool. Now, I use these knife sharpeners all the time and super happy with them. We'll do a quick rundown. You know, you've got your basic thing here where you put your sharpening stone, and these diamond sharpening stones that you get with them, they are fantastic. I've been using one set for over 3 years, and I've probably got like 100 knives, like brand new knives that have never been sharpened that I put edges on, and they're still cutting really well. So they're really high quality diamond stones. It's got this little plastic piece here. It's a park feature so that as you're swapping out your blades, you can move it out of the way. And then the way this works, obviously you clamp your knife in here. We've got these two knobs at the back. You can put them right tight together for smaller blades, spread them on out. And I've done 10-inch kitchen knives, and I have no problem with this small sharpener. And then on this side, we've got this little mechanism right here you can release, and that brings this main clamp part out. You can rotate it to the other side of the blade and then pull it back in. Now they've got a chamfer machined on here and a receiver, so it's like a tapered fit every time, so you don't have to worry about misalignment. You bring it in there and it will straighten itself out and then be exactly 180 degrees when you rotate it. One comment I get all the time about these fixed pivot knife sharpeners is whether or not the angle changes. So the angle we start sharpening at right dead center, then over here, is that angle different? What if the blade's over here? Is that angle different? Now, the caveat to this explanation is that this is based on a blade being perfectly straight. An example, I've got this kitchen knife I'm working on, and it's got a fairly flat blade. There's not a lot of belly to this blade, so this would be a good example. Now, if we put this in here, oh no, where's my little wrenchy Madoo? There it is. So basically, you just tighten these in like this, clamps the blade. You want to tighten it in on a flat part of the blade. If you've got full grind, sometimes you can get slightly skewed angles. You won't be clamping on the flat part, so when you flip from side to side, you might be sharpening at different angles, so you do need to have a nice flat part to clamp onto. But say we start sharpening right here. A lot of people say that even if this blade is very straight, the angle I'm sharpening here is different than the angle I'm sharpening here. And I think where people get confused here is that they think in this line, in this plane, but that's not the plane that we're measuring the angle on. We measure the angle exactly 90 degrees to the cutting edge. Here's an example that I give in the comment section often that I hope clears this up. And I probably get like 2 to 5 comments every day on this. Let's use an analogy. Pretend that this is the roof of a house. This is the pitch of that roof. Now obviously it's not perfectly straight right now, but we're gonna pretend that this house was built well and that the angle of the roof was consistent along the entire roof. Now, let's pretend that this is the gutter, which would also represent a cutting edge of a knife. We're gonna come up to the top of the roof here, and we're gonna take a 2x4. There's a lot of pretend in this little analogy. So pretend this is a 2x4. And we nail that 2x4 right to there. Now, if I articulate this back and forth, we essentially have a fixed pivot knife sharpener. When I go right there, this is our starting angle. So we'll measure this roof at this angle. Now, if I run this 2x4 all the way to the far corner of the roof, Has the angle of the roof changed? Of course not, because we're still measuring it 90 degrees to the gutter or to the cutting edge of the blade. Same thing if we go this way. It doesn't change. That's the biggest thing people get confused about, and I was terribly confused years and years ago when I made that video saying, you know, does the angle change? And then I did an apology video. The angle will not change. Now, if you have a curved blade, and I understand that most, like about 99% of knives have some type of a belly in them, that angle will change. But it is such a small change that I honestly don't believe I would believe anybody if they said they could tell a difference, you know, between the bevel here and the bevel there. It is such a minute difference that it's not even worth arguing about. And the whole premise that these fixed pivot knife sharpeners are junk, because if you just look at it like this, yes, that's a huge angle change, right? But we're not measuring the bevel here to here. It's not like we're gonna, what's the bevel of this? No, I wouldn't get an accurate reading. If I want to know what the angle of this is, I have to measure it straight along the plane of the angle. Hopefully that clears any questions up, and it would be nice if I'd stopped getting all those insane argumentative comments about the angle changing. But anyways, I really want to address that with this video. So the other thing that TSPROF has done, other than sending me a third cadet, this is the 6th knife sharpener they've sent to me, is that they've also got one available for a lucky commenter. Now, if you'd like to be entered to win one of these knife sharpeners, you have to leave a comment below. It has to be a polite comment. No political comments whatsoever. This is not a political channel. I got a lot of flack and a lot of heat the last time I reviewed this one. Okay, so polite comments only. Negative comments, you'll get blocked. And let's see, today is December 21st. And so this is gonna run over the holidays, and we'll do it in the new year. Let's go Friday, January 6th. At 12 o'clock Mountain Standard Time is when I will stop the comments. I will do a random comment picker, and I will leave a reply to that person saying, you've won, contact me. And I'll have my email address in that comment. And yeah, we will get this sent to you. It will be coming from TSPROF. They've got a distribution warehouse in the United States, and Continental US or Canada are eligible. If you have questions about this knife sharpener, let me know. I'd love to answer them. These things aren't cheap, and that's another one of the main comments I get, is that they're expensive, and I agree 100%. It depends. If you want a tool that will last the rest of your life and will keep your knives sharp for the rest of your life, this is a one and done type of a purchase. This is something that you will not be needing to upgrade, you'll not be needing to replace or fix. Everything that they put out is just top quality, and I've been so thrilled with all of them. Like just like look at this. This is like billet aluminum, this piece right here. It's just machined, and it's so nice, and they seem to just think things through very well. Great designs. Again, these stones, you'll get a whole pack of these diamond stones. They go from coarse, which is 150 grit, all the way to super fine, which is 1,000 grit. And then they also have leather strops for these. And I can tell you that the 1,000, what they have denoted as a 1,000, that will put a mirror edge on your bevel. And so I don't see, I usually go up to 1,000 and I'll just lick it real quickly on a strop, and that sucker, you can't even look straight at the blade, or else it'll cut your eyeball right in half. That's how sharp you can get knives with these knife sharpeners. I just want to say thank you to TSPROF for sending this to me, and it looks like I've got a problem, doesn't it? I must have more sharpeners. I want all the sharpeners. You know, I'm thinking, toying with the idea of having an open house here, maybe in the spring or something. It'd be kind of cool. If I do that, one of these will definitely be as like a door prize or something like that. But it's also nice to kind of have them to compare and contrast. Yeah, I've got a couple KO3s, the Blitz, now 3 Cadets. It's fantastic. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. And one quick tip that I always like to give. When you're trying to set the angle on these little digital angle blocks are your friend. This one is a little different in that, if you notice, we've got this in here. When we move the blade up and down to adjust the angle, this hardly moves at all. It does move slightly, But with some of the other ones, the knife stays stationary and this rod goes up and down. In that case, you can actually, zero your blade and then put your angle on here and find what it is. That doesn't work the same with this. So what I would generally do with this one is, this is the zero axis right here. So you zero that. Actually, let's do that for fun. I don't know if you'll be able to see it as far away as you are, but we'll set this here. Press 0. So that is the incline, or that is the center line of the blade. And then we can set this over here, put it as if it were going, as if we're sharpening, and that right there would be a 22-degree bevel, which is fairly steep. For a fine kitchen knife, let's zero that, and go to here. That's a 20-degree bevel. So these little markings on the side are a good guide. Generally though, you kind of tweak it a little bit. A lot of people just eyeball it. Some people really nerd out and think it's like the most important thing on earth to get. I only sharpen at this angle, facing due north, blah, 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 blah. But if you want to match an existing angle, a little trick is you take a Sharpie and the little micro bevel, that secondary bevel, you come carefully here, don't cut your fingers off, and then you just lay down some Sharpie only on that secondary bevel. Once you clamp it in there, you kind of see what looks close, and with really light passes with a fine stone, start going across it, and you'll be able to see if you're up at the top of the secondary bevel or if you're at the bottom of the secondary bevel. Ideally, you wipe out that entire Sharpie at once. Works really well to match existing bevel angles, and it's a slick little trick, and it's easy to do. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. I thank you for watching, and yeah, leave your comments below. One of you guys can have one of these and have sharp knives for the rest of your life. Woohoo! Cheers. That was a bad noise. Of course, I won't do it now that I want to, but whatever.